Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another Scrap Your Scrap Thursday night. Tonight we're going to use up some of our mixed media scraps and things that we can't get rid of because they're so beautiful and we want to hang on to them, such as this paper towel that I have here. And we're going to do it on a small 5x7 canvas board. So I've got a couple of things here. I've got stencils, I've got a palette knife, I've got some paint, I've got some sparkled texture paste, I've got some collage medium, and I have some glitter stencil paste. So we're going to be doing some mixing as well to improve our background and build on top of our paper towel. So with using paper towels, I generally can separate the layers. Not so sure about this one because it has some paste on it already, and sometimes the paste goes through and prevents me from pulling apart the layers. I just have to be very careful, and it's okay if it does rip a little bit. Oh my gosh, this is coming off so well. There we go. Forget what I said. All right, so I have a piece here, my second piece that I can use in another project, and this is the one that I'm using in today's project. So I have a 5x7 frame that I made. Watch my shadow there. So I have all these frames. So there's my 5x7 frame, and it helps me to target where I want to cut and paste. So I just kind of go around and see, I just drag it slowly around the piece to see what I want to see on my finished project. So I just kind of move it around. I don't mind having a white space because we are adding other layers. I kind of like that actually. So I'm going to go for the top corner on this and transfer that to my piece. But I'm not going to cut it. I'm going to transfer it first, dry it out, and then I'm going to trim it back, because sometimes what happens if you cut it and you get moving it around on the paper, it can shrink, or it could be too big, and then you've got like little bits of things that you need to trim off around the outside. So the first thing we're going to do is put down some collage medium, and this is the thing that helps to stick. This is a prepared board. I didn't really pick the board for the texture of it, so I'm not, you don't have to prepare. Whatever board you use is fine. You can use a cardstock, a heavy cardstock if you want. I just happen to have these, and I need to use them up. There we go, a little bit more down in the corner here. I want to make sure I have a fairly decent layer of it because it does dry quickly, and you want to make sure that you're covering the whole thing, because if you have dry spots, they'll bubble up with air over time. All right, this should be good enough. Alrighty, now I'm going to take my paper towel, just have a little bit of an overhang, and I'm going to push that nicely into that collage medium, make sure everything is nice and secure. Oh, I love this line. It's going to be cool. All right, and you can feel it starts to get a little bit tacky because that's where the collage medium is coming up. And I just want to take a wet wipe, because I got some collage medium on my mat. You don't want to transfer, so. Oh. So these things sometimes are harder than they look. There we go. Now, usually when I'm using a wet nap or wet wipe, whatever you call it, I fold them up as small as I can get them and stick them under something, keep them flat. What do I have that I can put under there? Oh, I'll use the stencil paste for now. That keeps the moisture in them so that I can keep using them, so it's not a one wipe thing. And this I need to address a little bit more. I'm just going to put it into my paper towel, because the more things you have on there, the better. That's the excess paper towel. All right, we're going to give this a quick dry. And you know it's dry if it's not sticky. Okay, there's a little bit down in this corner. There we go. Not sticky. Okay, now I'm just going to go and carefully, with a long pair of scissors, trim off the leftovers. Now you could tear off the leftovers if you wanted to. We're going to trim one side and we're going to tear the other, so you can see what that looks like. But you're going to tear down if you do tear, because you want to make sure that, so you have this rough edge. That kind of looks cool too, having a rough edge. I wanted to maintain as much of this as I could, because I'm going to obviously use this on a different project. But I do like that torn edge. So we have it on one half of our project. Straight edge on this side. I could add another layer even. I have multi-layers. I got that line anyway. It wouldn't be a bad idea to sort of put another layer there. Let's see. We'll keep working. All right, so now I want to dress up the surface a little, and my idea was that this is going to be spring, even though it's like hot orange and hot pink. I'm going to add some cool colors in there, so I'm going to be pulling in a little bit of purple and a little bit of green, but I'm going to be creating two different kinds of sparkle material. In the green, I'm going to be putting the sparkle paste, which has, I'll show you what that looks like. The sparkle paste is very liquidy and has minute little sparkles. You can't really see it. You will see it in the paint, so I'll be able to show you that. That has a very different texture than the sparkle glitter paste, which is going to be the purple, and it's just a random choice. This is very dense and thick, and has also minute sparkles, but these are not metallic sparkles, whereas this is metallic sparkles. So now I want to add some leaves into this, and I'm going to use my stencil to help me do that. So we're going to mix up a little bit of green. Put my stencil over there. And I bought a brand new green color just for this occasion. I just have to find scissors that I can snip it and get the peel started. There we go. And I was shaking it up really well prior to being on camera. And now I'm just going to start with a little bit. Well, actually, I'll need more than that. And we're going to mix in the sparkle paste. And as I said, this is quite liquidy. All right. And I'm going to pull out another spatula in case I need to remove to add more in. I'm going to mix into the green, but I don't want to contaminate this if I don't need it, and I probably should have made that a little further away. So let me do that now. There we go. And so now we're just going to mix these two mediums together. And it's so clear, I just want to bring out the sparkle. Actually, I'm going to need all that anyway. Okay, I still can't see the sparkle, so I need a little bit more of this. Gotta dig in, plop it in there. I think we'll be able to use the whole thing. Oh, there we go. Mix that all up. Takes a minute to mix it. And you'll see it better when it dries. Okay, so I just want to add some leafy bits in the bottom here. And I am going to focus on these leafy bits here because they're all going sort of in the same direction I would want to go. And maybe I'm going to pull in that guy and that guy. And when you're isolating like this, it's a bit tricky. You just got to be patient and go over a couple of times to make sure you get a nice smooth coat. There we go. Now a lot has come out the side there because I was over the side. And I'm going to scrape the extra off. Put it back here and do a little cleanup with my handy dandy folded up. There we go. And I'm just going to clean this up so that I don't contaminate where I put it next. Oops. It is a tricky stencil because it has little things that will lift if they get caught. All right. Okay. Fold this guy up again. It's a process. It's all a process. That won't stay on there without glue in it. Well, it keeps it not too bad. Now I have some left over here. So I am going to take my clean spatula and just pull that off a little bit. There we go. And I'm going to add that to this paper towel for next time. Okay. So now I have to dry this because I don't want the stencil, when I use it in the opposite corner, to cause a problem. Now using paint, it kind of takes away, I should talk without drying. Using paint kind of takes away the texture of the medium, so it even thins it down a little bit more. So this is not going to be super high texture. I can't tell if it's dry or not. Oh, it's getting there. It's a little tacky. Let's just go a little more. All right. Okay, so now we are going to add some from this side, and I'm going to use a different bunch of flowers. or leaves. All right, now is that, I just don't want to put too much pressure on there. So now I think I'm going to go into the center, and I'm going to use a little bit of tacky tape to cover up areas I don't want to get covered. See, I'm looking at these leaves here, and I like these leaves down at the bottom. So I feel like I need to cover up this guy here. Don't really want anything from there. And this guy here. And I'm just going to have these three guys. Four guys in the corner. And I'm not going to worry about what, well, maybe I should worry about what goes on down there. I'm talking you through my process here, such that it is. Okay, we want that. And then I'm going to cover up this guy just in case. All right, so we're going to go back in. And we're going to make sure we try not to blop it too much. The thinner it is, of course, the more tricky it is not to get it underneath the stencil, which I may have done. Okay. And we're going to lift. Oh, not too bad. Could have been worse. I'm going to just push that aside for a minute while I clean my stencil. So as you can see, I'm just adding leaves sort of randomly wherever. And this has quite a bit of paint in it. And I think I'm just going to add a little bit more coming out from one side. Let me just have a look at what that looks like. So, I've got this. So I'm just going to have a tiny little bit here. Let's see. Because I'm not in anywhere near that, I'm just going to put this little thing there. Still have enough on my plate. Oops, moved a little too quickly. There we go. Fixed it up a bit. All right, and we are going to dry that. Okay, keep my little bundle there. Dry time. In the meantime, I have this green paint, and I like to keep my stuff when I make it, so I have empty containers, and I'm just going to put this into here because I like that color. And I don't want to waste it. Now, it is possible that before I get to it, it will dry out, but what I try to do is flatten it along the edge so that the profile is low, and then I'll peel that out and apply it to a junk journal or something else. So as long as I can keep it on a low profile, even if it dries, it becomes something I can use in another project. Crazy as that sounds. Alrighty, so I'm just going to put this aside. I have to clean up here because we're moving on. Now, acrylic paint will wash off if it dries onto your plastic or slippery surface things. It will not peel off if it dries onto something that has a pattern. It just will take a little bit more work. And this is already dry, so we're going to scrape that with the scraper, which is the quickest way to get it off your mat. And you can just stick that in there. Once it's dry, it scrapes nicely. I have some other spots here from previous days I didn't scrape, I can see. And you just clean off your scraper, it's good to go. Now this still has life in it. So we're gonna flip back to where we were before. And now we have a new side. All right, now we can dry. Whoops, I should make sure. So I make sure I push my, what do you call this stuff? Pressure seal stuff right into the container so that it doesn't get stuck on the edges, and also so that there's no air inside and it lasts longer that way. Okay, drying time. And is that coming off? I can't tell. Yeah, so a little bit more. Okay, so with acrylic, it does dry on the outer surface before it dries on the inside. So as long as you have it sealed on top and that when you touch it, nothing comes off, you're good to go on to your next step. However, you have to remember it's still soft underneath. So if you scratch it or dig into it, you can ruin it. So you just want to be careful about that. All right, now I feel that I want to do another, I want to do another pattern, and I want to add this purple in. So I have this stencil, and it's a three-piece stencil. So when you put it all together, it adds up to become flowers and stems and stuff. So you can sort of see what the finished stencil is there. I just want to use the inside part. And what I want to do is I'm going to cover up these bigger pieces and just have these random little things in the purple and mixed paint. So I'm going to do a little bit of cover up, especially in the center, until I figure out where I'm going to place it. And then I'll cover where the leaves are so that I don't get it on the leaves by mistake. Whoops, let's get you a little bit more covered. So this process takes a little bit of time, but the results are fun. All right, let's figure this out a little bit. Make sure that won't stick too much. Yeah, actually, you know what? I'm thinking that the backs will stick onto my paper towel, and paper towel is not the strongest thing. So I want to make sure it doesn't stick. And I'm going to mostly put it in the center section. So I just want to make sure that I've got these pieces that we're going to go over. So I want those covered and that covered. Just putting it lightly, and I'll go towards the back and cover it up even better. Is it sticking? It's not bad actually. Maybe I can get away with not doing both sides. There we go. There we go. And I want those two covered. That one is okay, but this one is not. So you can see that I am covering anything that crosses with my leaves, because I do not want the leaf to have the dot on it. So we'll see how it goes. I've never used the inside of a set of stencils to create a pattern in the background, but we'll see how it goes. And you know, I think I just want to mask off both ends because I don't want that straight line in case I go over by accident. And this I'm going to just run on my pants to loosen up the sticky because I don't want it to pull up my paint. If I can avoid it, just firm along the edge but lightly along the paint. Take off some of that sticky. So this edge is firm and just tapping it down there. Alrighty, and hopefully it won't be too bad. Okay, I think we're all set up here. I'll move it up further so you can see what's going on. Don't want that stuff there. Okay. All right, now we're going to take some of the glitter paste and this is really thick stuff. Oh, I forgot to put this back inside. Actually, I'm going to clean around the edges just a little bit so that I can get that down in deeper. So that I can get my sometimes takes a little bit of work. And now this I can push right into the center and make sure it touches and push all the air out of either side. And then this folds over. And you put the lid on. And that should keep it from biodegrading. Now this is a water-soluble paint. So I have to be careful. Oh, no, this goes permanent. That's right. Never mind. It is acrylic. I wasn't sure if it was acrylic or not. So I'm going to put some of that over there. Dip in that, and I'm going to start to color my crystal glittery paint. And I love this wilted color because it's very spring-like. It reminds me of what do you call it? Hibiscus? Not hibiscus. Hyacinth. See how little it took to color that paste. Wow. That paint is very dense. All right, so because I don't like wasting, I am going to get my little tiny paintbrush, and I am painstakingly going to put it back in the jar. I know. Sorry guys, this is me. I'm very frugal, but there's a lot of paint there. And then we're going to just rub that paint off on the spatula and just spray this with a bit of water until I can deal with it. Look at all the paint that was still in there. And this is just to keep it from drying out. This can go back on there because I'm done with this for now. All right, now I want all that paint. Just make sure we've got it all mixed up nicely. Okay, so I am going to go in lightly. And we're just going over those spots. I may not even need this much. You still have to be concerned about pushing the stencil stuff under. With thicker paste, but not in the same way you do with something loose like a paint. Okay, so we just want to make sure we have a covering. And now let's see. Gotta wipe off my fingers here. Let's see what we have. Very carefully taking that edge up because we don't want to remove the paint. It's stuck. Okay, pop. Come on, gentle. Come on. There we go. Down here. Oh, look at how pretty that is. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. Okay, so we have bits we need to take off, but I need to put a couple of little things down here. So I am just going to risk it and just add a little bit of purple down here. There. And that just kind of finishes it off. And let's see. I want to put a circle in there. And I want to put some more of this in there. So where is the crocus? This one. There we go. So this is me going in very fussily. It's not perfect, but it will work. And maybe, where is another circle there? Smaller circle. There we go. There, just to fill in a bit so that it looks like it's gone everywhere. I think I need another There we go. All right, that is so cool. And that will be a cleanup situation, as will this. And I have all this left. All right. This is where we get our other paper towels, and we pull them in. And I'm just going to spread this over this paper towel. Get the crunchies off. And then I have all this paint here. I'm just going to add that to the paper. I've got this piece. Very subtle, but that's what you want. Actually, you know what? I'm going to put a little bit of splashes of purple in here too. Okay, so let's wipe this down. That needs to be washed. And I'm just going to go and soak up all of this extra stuff in this one. There we go. So we have a couple of things that need to be dried for next time. And I'm just going to chunk off the pieces that are coming off the edge. I don't want the pieces that are coming on the edge because they're gonna snap off anyway. So I'm gonna do that in advance. And I don't want them snapping off while I'm still adding things to the surface. Okay. I feel like this is the way it should be. So there's all kinds of shimmery goodness on there. All these little guys shimmer. These guys are shimmery. The background has shimmer in it. Oh, I love that. That's beautiful. Okay, I got to clean a few things up. Be right back. Okay, we're back. I got a little bit closer because we're going to be doing some close work with some flowers and things. So I went, while I was cleaning things up, I had to get those stencils cleaned because I realized that the combination of the glitter and the paint were really sticking to the stencil. So I got those cleaned up. And then I went hunting for flowers and things. So I found some flowers that I thought were funky enough to go with the background, because you don't want to go like with real flowers or anything when you're playing around with these kinds of really bright and shimmery colors. So I found some funky flowers that I really like. I'm going to pull them all out because I might want to add more in. And these are paper flowers that I cut out of a background paper. So I didn't like the background paper on its own, but I liked the flowers that on their own. And I got some leaves that are funky leaves. And I found a saying that I think I'm interested in using. And I had a flower here, but I don't know if I'll use that. But I like the idea of, this says note to self, and these are things that I pre-cut, and I usually pre-cut them out of my why am I all fuzzy? Wow, what's going on with the camera here? Sorry folks, just going to make an adjustment. There we go. That's a little better. These are dies that I cut bunches of in different colors, and then I just pull them out when I want them. So note to self, and then I had some strips, like a sheet of different sayings, and this one says, see possibilities everywhere, and I thought that was a great spring saying. And so I'm kind of going into spring, even though these are hot colors. My idea is to play with them as spring colors, bright and cheerful spring colors. I also have in my little leaf container random leaves that might play into this somehow. There's some gold leaves in that one. So I'm just kind of pulling things together and seeing what will work, what won't work. These are too real looking. So I've got maple leaves, which probably wouldn't work. These are very realistic, so I'm going to avoid those. These are the outside edges of leaves, so I don't want to have to try and figure that one out. What else do I have in here? Those are those. Whoops! Dropped a whole bunch of leaves on the floor. I got wooden leaves, which I don't think I want to use, and these guys are too realistic. What's in here? I might pull out some of these gold leaves. I may use them, I may not use them. They're singles. And the rest of them don't look like the right color to me, but I'm just going to have a smattering of gold. So I'll keep that there. And this looks like a weird compilation of things. Let's see what we go. Oh, look at that gold leaf. That's a little too wacky. Too much glitter. Don't need eucalyptus, I don't think. More wood leaves. I don't see any color matches there. The wood leaves are not going to work. So I'm just literally going through. These are smaller versions, but they're just a little too much glitter, because we have lots of glittery things going on. And there's another wood leaf. And more of... No, I don't think we're finding anything in this pile. So we'll just stuff those all back in. And I think we'll stick with what we have. These guys are two. And what's that one? Interesting, but not going to work for this particular project. Okay, and this is wacky, big and wacky. And this one is another one of those orange leaves, which I think we'll stick with the green and the gold. We're going to keep that out, because if we don't use the gold, we'll put it back. This goes back in there. And we'll just set those out of the way. All right, so my plan is to take some of this other paper towel, and I'm going to mount this onto cardstock and that onto something that will keep it stiff, because I don't want to lose that. I need to have the ability to lift that off the page a little bit, but I don't want it to interfere with what's going on in the background here. So I figure if I use some of this, it might help us meld it together. So let's get that handled. I need a little piece of cardstock, which I usually have lying around. Oh, here we go. There's a piece of cardstock. And I just literally want it big enough to hold the letters. I'm not looking to make it a feature. Okay, so I'm just going to do a quick little sketch, and I'm going to make it very organic. Like I said, I don't want it to be a feature of the layout. I just need to make sure that I can raise them a little bit from the background, and so they show up a little bit more. So I'm literally just doing this kind of meandering sort of thing. Try not to be too straight edged about it. Okay, so that's the first cut. Now I am going to move this out of the way for a minute. Now I'm going to glue this down, and I am going to use my Collage medium again, but this time I'm just going to use my finger because it's all I have available. I've washed everything else. So I'm going to take my Collage medium, and I'm just going to smoosh that on the edges. My finger is my best tool, to be honest. All right, and I want the sparkly side. Just put the lid on that for a minute. So we're just gonna, whoop, want color in there though. There we go. Just going to smoosh that down, and when you start to feel it getting tacky on the surface, you know you've got it nice and flat. Where is my, I'm still using my same guy to wipe up because he's still got stuff inside. And wipe down my countertop. And I think I'm done with that now because there's nothing wet that we're doing anymore. Nice thing about Collage medium, when you have it on your finger, when it dries you can just roll it off like glue. You know, when you're a kid and you're rolling the white glue. I'm going to hit this with just a tad of heat. Dry that up a little bit. And then I'm going to trim it again. Or I might tear it. Okay. And this just allows me to put this on and pop dot it just a tad. Okay, I said I was gonna tear. Now the other thing you can do to tear this nice and easily is to just wet the edges with a paintbrush, and it will help the process. And I still have enough of that to use for later. Just making sure that it's not too random. We want to maintain a shape that is going to be sort of organic. There we go. Don't like the way that looks. There we go. There's our organic shape. Get the little bitty bits out of the way. So we are now going to be able to, self fits in there, and 2 fits in there, and note. Note to self. Oh, these are fiddly. And they want to jump around. Okay. You're going to go there. You're going to go there. They're going to be glued down, of course. You're going to go there. So note to self. Awesome. All right, that answered that question, and then I have the sticker that just will go flat on it. So let's get this glued down because it just wants to jump all over the place. Nature of the beast, and hopefully just have to make sure my glue is open. Got to check your glue every once in a while, make sure it's still working if you haven't used it in a while. And I can see I have some stuff stuck in there, so I'm literally just going to take my pin, go in from the inside, and pull it out. Look at that. You can wash it too, but I don't have the time for that today. Okay. All right. So we are going to dot. Gotta get it started. Nope, needs a wash. So every once in a while you do have to clean your glue. Now we should have no trouble. Woo! No trouble at all. I think there might be actual water in there. Wow, that comes out very fast. Wipe it up with my colorful paper towel. So I have to be very careful I don't go too quickly. When you put glue on your paper towel, just open your paper towel so it doesn't stick together. All right. And here we go. Whoa, just a little afraid of, yeah, I'm going to get a lot of glue. Okay, so we're going to flip this over, and self goes right in here. Lots of glue. Good thing it's clear. So there's self. Rub that off. And then note, we have to stick in there as well. Wow. Ooh, look at how quickly it comes out. It's too clean. Okay. Note. There we go. Good thing glue rubs off on your hands eventually. Note to self. Whoa, we have a lot of glue on here. Note to self. There we go. Don't mind the way that looks. Awesome. Okay, so now my plan was to stick this down here, and I'm just going to pop dot it a little bit because this is going to go flat across the bottom. So that was my plan. So we're going to not do any gluing or pop dotting just yet because we do want to get the flowers sorted as well. And I kind of, it is covering up a little bit of stuff for sure. I'm kind of trying, let's move you down a little bit. And I want this to kind of go right in there. Don't know if that's the right piece. Let's see what we got going. Interesting. Okay, this is, Nope, 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 nope. I like this because I can put those two together. Or maybe this. That's too much. Okay, too much. Nope. So this is just personal preference. These are all individuals. What about this one? That one. Don't like that one either. This has a little one, but then there's too much of that. What about that? Okay, so I'm getting somewhere here. Now, I was thinking that this would go in there somewhere. This might be too much. I'm not sure about that. So I can put gold leaf back here. I'm going to trim it down so it's just the gold leaf that you see. You know what? Let's start with the green leaves. I like that nice big leaf there. And then a nice big leaf here. And maybe a green leaf there. And then this can move up just a touch, like that. Don't know if I need this. If I don't need that, maybe I can add that down there. Actually, I think I like that better. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is find my camera on my phone and take a picture so that I remember how I've got it laid out. And that's super important because when you're gluing things down, things will change anyway, whether you like it or not, but at least you can sort of get an idea of what you were thinking before things get carried away. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm using low pop dots, so these are 1 millimeter as opposed to the 2 millimeter standard. And the reason I'm doing that is because I think I am going to send this to a friend, and I have to make sure I can get it through the mail in a 5x7 mailer without changing the girth too much. All right. Alrighty, and this, I'm going to peel this off and this off. And oh no, what happened there? I lost some of my my letter. Gonna have to fix that. Things like that happen. So we're just gonna place that in there. Like so. Okay, I'll fix that shortly. This is a sticker that would lie flat, but unfortunately I'm going to have to pop dot a little bit on either end because, let me just grab some pop dot stuff. It's gotta go, oh, that's a little wide, over top of the self part. And I need to make sure I know where it's going to lay. So from the B to the E. That's just me figuring out where to do the pop dots. So I can do one here because it's going to lay over top of the pre-existing popped element. And this is just a little bit big. Don't want to see all that pop dot, so I'm just going to trim. There we go. And it's good to have a pair of non-stick scissors because you can just pull those pop dotty bits off. And I need to trim that. There we go. There we are. Take away. Okay, now I want to kind of align it with the text. There we go. There we are. I'm going to fix that right now. So I'm going to go in and find a marker and just touch it. And get something just slightly darker. Hopefully this won't be too dark. There we go. And that finished it off. Woo! Should probably go just a tiny bit further. There we go. Thank goodness that worked. Alrighty, now let's glue down these flowers. This is going to go flat. This is going to go pop dotted. I'm going to put these guys in after the fact. And so I have to put this there. Whoa, this is really coming out thick. Somewhere around there is where I have it. So you're just going to have to hold it down for a second for it to take. It's quick drying glue. Make sure you don't have stickies on your fingers. And you just press it for a few minutes and then it's stuck. Yay! There we go. This guy we're going to pop dot. So I can actually go from one end to the other. And I don't want to go right to the edge because I want to have some space in case I need to stick things underneath. All right. I have a little piece here that can go there. And a piece that can go there. And a piece that can go there. Maybe I'll get a small piece for there. Take all those bitty bits off. And now this one literally comes right to there. And whoop, covers the edge right to there. Okay. This little guy, we're going to put some glue on. There we go. And we're going to tuck that right there. Just hold it down for a second. All right, and do I want to double that up? I might double that up, but these are with a small one on top. And just stick it in the center so it gives it some way too much glue. So it gives it a little bit of edges. All right. So far, that's looking great. And we're going to put in our leaves. Now our leaves, we're going to slightly shape, and my fingernail has made, can you see it? I've made some, a little bit there. You can see I've used actually my fingernail to make some vines, which is perfectly legit. And I am going to stick that one in there. Just hold it down. Sorry, always messing with my lights. Just lift you up. Okay. You can be lifted, and I'm just kind of lifting up the edges of the flowers so it kind of looks like they're cupped. There's a little more dimension. There we go. All right, now this other big guy. I don't like the little, this was in a bunch of die cuts, but those little things that hold it to the paper are annoying. And again, I'm gonna make some veins, not vines. Stick that in there. This is gonna go in there. There we go. And trim off the little bubbly bits on this one. some veins. Stick this one up here. There we go. Look at that. Cool! Look at all the sparkle that's on there. Everywhere is sparkly. The purple is sparkly. It's all sparkly. All right. Now, do I want to do any more? Sometimes I like to do some line work. I don't know if I can make that decision right now. Like, I almost have to live with it to decide if I need some more line work. I could put a line around the outside edge. But if I imagine this in a frame, let me go back to my 5x7 frame. If I imagine that in a frame, if it ever gets in a frame, I don't know what the person I'm giving it to will do with it. I don't know. I don't think it needs lines. I don't think it needs any of that. All right. I think we're done. I like the hairy edges on two sides and the non-hairy edges on two sides. Very happy with this. All right, so we're at the end of the video, and as usual, if you enjoyed this video, please share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe and like my video, or subscribe to my YouTube channel and like the video when you're finished. Thank you very much. Have a great week. See you next Thursday.